Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Janaballabha Jaya Giri Baradhari Jaya Gopi Janaballabha Jaya Baradhari Jaya Gopi Janaballabha Jaya Giri Baradhari Gopi Janavallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Brajajanandan Yashodanandana Brajajanandan Yashodanandana Brajajanandan Yashodanandana Brajajanandan Krishna, 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 Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Radha Gopi Panitai Pavita Pava जय जय श्री राधा माधव भगवान की जय। जय जय श्री राधा गोपी जन भगवान की जय। निताय पतित गौर भगवान की जय। श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। अनंत विष्णु भक्तवृंद की जय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वती व्यासं ततो जयामुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवति उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्ठिकी। ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरोन् वैष्णवांश श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवम् साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं श्रीकृष्णचैतन्य श्री राधा कृष्ण पादान सगन ललिता श्री विशाखा हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमस्ते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरि नमो महावदान्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्य नाम्ने गौरत्विषे नमः। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभयेव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी निति नाम्ने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण जय श्री प्रभुपाद की जय। वेलकम टू द मॉर्निंग भागवतम क्लास। I seek blessings from all the great Vaishnavas and devotees here in person and in Zoom, so that I can just speak or recite whatever I have heard and learned from our senior Vaishnavas, Guru Maharaj, and all other like spiritual leaders in our Sampradaya. We will discuss Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 15, text or verse 11 to 15. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम भगवते वासुदेवाय तस्याभिषेक आरब्धो तस्याभिषेक आरब्धो ब्राह्मणैर्ब्रह्मवादिभिः ब्राह्मणैर्ब्रह्मवादिभिः अभिषेचनिकान्यस्मै आजह्रु सर्वतो जना तस्याभिषेक आरब्धो
तस्याभिषेक आरब्धो
ब्राह्मणैर्ब्रह्मवादिभिः अभिषेचनिकन्यस्मै
विशेषनिकन्यस्मै
आजह्रु सर्वतो जना तस्याभिषेक आरब्धो
तस्याभिषेक आरब्धो
ब्राह्मणैर्ब्रह्मवादिभिः
ब्रह्मवादिभिः
अभिषेक अभिषेचनिकान्यस्मै
आदिदेवतास्मै
आजह्रु सर्वतो जना
तस्याभिषेक आरब्धो
तस्याभिषेक आरब्धो ब्राह्मणैर्ब्रह्मवादिभिः
अभिषेचनिकानत्येमु
अभिषेचनिकान्यस्मै
आजहु सर्वतो जना
आजह्रु सर्वतो जना
तस्याभिषेक आरब्धो
तस्याभिषेक आरब्धो
ब्रह्मवादिभिः
ब्राह्मणैर्ब्रह्मवादिभिः
अभिषेचिकाय अस्मै
अभिषेचनिकान्यस्मै
अजातु सर्वतो जनः
आजह्रु सर्वतो जना माताजी want to recite तस्याभिषेक आरब्धो ब्राह्मणैर्ब्रह्मवादिभिः अभिषेचनिकान्यस्मै आजह्रु सर्वतो जना synonyms तस्य his अभिषेकः coronation आरब्ध was arranged ब्राह्मणै by the learned brahmanas Brahmavadivi attached to the Vedic rituals Avishechanikani various paraphernalia for performing the ceremony Asmai unto him Ajahu collected Sarvatah from all directions Jana people Translation by His Divine Grace S. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The learned Brahmanas who were very attached to the Vedic ritualistic ceremonies then arranged for the king's coronation. People from all directions collected all the different paraphernalia for the ceremony. Thus everything was complete. We'll read through up to text number 15. Okay, and just to read this, then we'll discuss each and every slokas. Sarit samudra girayo dhagagav khaga mriga Dyokshiti sarva bhutani samajahru upayanam. Translation by the Divine Grace is Prabhupada. All the rivers, seas, hills, mountains, serpents, cows, birds, animals, heavenly planets, the earthly planet, and all other living entities collected various presentations according to their ability to offer the king. Text 13. So Abhisikta Maharaja Subasa Sadho Alankritava Papnyarchi Sala Kritaya Vire Je Agnir Iva Parama. Thus the great king Prithu, exquisitely dressed with garments and ornaments, was coronated and placed on the throne. The king and his wife Archi, who was also exquisitely ornamented, appeared exactly like a fire. तस्मै जहार धनदो हैमं वीरवरासनं Varuna salila sarvam atapatram sasi prabham. Translation by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. The great sage continued, my dear Vidura, Kuvera presented the great king Prithu with a golden throne. The demigod Varuna presented him with an umbrella that constantly sprayed fine particles of water and was as brilliant as the text 15. वायुश्चवालव्यजने धर्मकीर्तिमयीं स्रजम् इन्द्रकिरीटम् उत्कृष्टं दण्डं संयमनं यमः. Translation by His Divine Grace. This is Prabhupada ki jai. The demigod of air Vayu presented King Prithu with two chamaras of hair. The king of religion, Dharma, presented him with a flower garland, which would expand his fame. The king of heaven, Indra, presented him with a valuable helmet, and the superintendent of death, Yamaraj, presented him with a scepter with which to rule the world. And the final one, text 16. Okay. Brahma Brahma Mayam Parama Bharati Haramuttamam Hari Sudarshanam Chakram Tatpatnya Avyahatam Sriyam. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. Translation. Lord Brahma presented King Prithu with a protective garment made of spiritual knowledge. Bharati, that is Saraswati, the wife of Brahma, gave him a transcendental necklace. Lord Vishnu presented him with a Sudarshan disc, and Lord Vishnu's wife, the goddess of fortune, Lakshmi Devi, gave him imperishable opulences. Purport by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. All demigods presented various gifts to King Prithu. Hari, an incarnation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead known as Upendra in the heavenly planet, presented the king with a Sudarshan disc. It should be understood that this Sudarshan disc is not exactly the same type of Sudarshan disc used by the personality of Godhead, Krishna or Vishnu. Since Maharaj Prithu was a partial representation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead's power, the Sudarshan disc given to him represented the partial power of the original Sudarshan disc. Okay, once again, I seek blessings from all the exalted and senior devotees so that we can discuss on this. Okay, so now after the appearance of Prithu Maharaj, so in the previous verses is like we saw, because the demigods from the valley planets came, and Brahmaji, by looking at the signs on his lotus feet, on his hand, the chakras, so he identified, yes, he is a plenary portion of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So after it is identified, so everyone was very happy. And naturally, when the Lord comes, everyone becomes happy. Even wherever there is a great personality comes, so the environment becomes very purified and everyone feels joyous. So here in the text 11 itself, it says the Lord Brahmanas, the learned Brahmanas were very attached to the Vedic ritualistic ceremonies then arranged for the king's coronation. Okay. So normally these Brahmanas who are their usual work is to perform the Vedic rituals. So they were attached to Vedic ritualistic ceremonies. So whoever, like if you see here, whoever in whatever mode they were, so they wanted to please with their activities to the Lord, offer that to the Lord. So naturally the Brahmanas were attached to the Vedic ritualistic ceremonies. So they started performing the ceremony. So all these limbs of Okay, the different rituals and different practices, those are required. Although in the current age, some of them are very difficult to practice. Some of them does not have as much potency as they used to have, but they have. So we cannot negate everything. Like in our Diksha ceremonies also, we perform all the ceremonies. Okay, like we do the Havan, okay, the japa. So everything is necessary. That's why, along with our topmost activity, which is the Nama Yogya, along with that, the other ceremonies also we perform. So, like if we refer Chetan Charitamrita, so in one of the slokas, it is said that Diksha Purascharya Vidhi Apeksha na kare, Jiva Sparse Achandala Savare Utare. So, if by taking the name of the Lord, that doesn't wait for any ritualistic ceremonies. It will automatically start working to purify, even if a dog it, it's under. Okay. So that will not wait. But that doesn't mean that the Diksha and Purascharan Vidhi should not be performed. So that's why in the purport, Prabhupada writes all the importance of taking Diksha, why, how initiation. Otherwise, by just reading this, anyone might feel that okay, this ritualistic ceremonies, Diksha or the Purascharan Vidhi. Diksha, Purascharya Vidhi. So Purascharya means the Purascharana Vidhi. So that is a this ritualistic ceremony. So it is a so the Purascharan in the Purascharan. So I'll explain that later. But the so because someone would feel that this Purascharan Vidhi is not required, the Diksha may be not required. If only by taking name Hare Krishna Mahamantra can deliver, then why other things? That's why Prabhupada wrote elaborate like how taking initiation, the Diksha, the ceremonies are also important to advance in the Krishna consciousness. And Rupa Goswami has written very elaborately. So I was also meditating on this. Maybe like other devotees can input on that. Like it says, like up to a chandal also, it can deliver. Okay, but it doesn't say that it can give complete Krishna prema. Rupa Goswami is like in objective is saying like conclusion is if one wants Krishna prema, then initiation is must. Without initiation, without getting into the parampara system, without the mercy from a lineage of bona fide sampradaya, no one can get the prema for the Lord. He may be delivered from this. Okay? But that in that also it is said, like without the mercy of the Lord, no one can be delivered. So so in that, but the but on the later way, so when Rupa Goswami and Sanatan Goswami was initiated, if we see for the initiation, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did not perform anything. Okay, immediately, just by seeing, he said, "Okay, from now on, your name are Rupa and Sanatan." Okay, there is no waiting for a specific moment and anything. Diksha can be done anytime. But after that, Rupa Goswami performed Purascharan Vidhi for purification. So through that, we can understand that these ceremonies are also required. Otherwise, after getting initiated from the Supreme Personality of Godhead, from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, what was the requirement to so what was the requirement for them to go through the Purascharan Vidhi? What is Purascharan? Purascharan Vidhi, ritualistic is like Purascharan Vidhi. There are five components in Purascharan Vidhi. Purascharan Vidhi. So first is the japa, the chanting of the Mahamantra. So for us, chanting of the Mahamantra. So in different like sampradayas or different brahmanas, they might chant the other mantras also. Like whenever there is a ceremony, different mantras of the Lord is chanted. So that is the first component. And then is Homa, the sacrifice, some of the sacrifice, like we do the fire sacrifice. Other forms of sacrifices are there, giving in charity. So that is there. Then Tarpanam, offering water to the deities. Okay. And then Marjanam, ritualistic sprinkling of water on oneself to purify all the environment, everyone who is there. There is Marjanam. Then the fifth is Bhojanam, then offering the Mahaprasad to everyone. So these five components are there in Purasarana Vidhi. In that also, it is said it is like it is also called a Dasamsa. Means Dasamsa means the first one, how much you do, okay, that the next one is 10% of that. So if you see now here, first component is Japa. So Japa should be the highest. And after that, 10% of that maybe, so let's say if you are doing 10 hours japa, then you will do homa for 1 hour, 10%. Like that, 10% it reduces. So if you see, so if you do japa that much, then bhojanam is a minimum. Japa is the highest. But sometimes the what the people do, okay, Purasaran means some ceremony means let's do Homa. So for 2, 3 hours or 4 hours, just to sit, everyone sits and just do Homa only, Swaha, Swaha, and so on. But they don't chant the names that much. But as per the process, the japa, the taking of the name, Nam Jagya should be the topmost. And the most of the like maximum of the time should be spent on the japa. So this Purascharan Vidhi is required, like as Rupa Goswami also performed. So in Chaitanya Charitamrita directly it is not mentioned elaborately what Purascharan Vidhi he performed, how did it, but it is said that just indicated that he did the through Purascharan Vidhi they purified themselves. So that is also required, all the limbs so which we perform. So like that, these Brahmanas, they started performing the ritualistic ceremonies for the coronation. Then people from all directions collected all the different paraphernalia for the ceremony. Thus everything was complete. So that's why it is not that okay, oh, राजा आ गया तो उधर चल रहा है उसमें हमको क्या है, नहीं. तो सब लोग जुट गए. Everyone was so happy. So everyone started contributing to that. So if there is any festival, so everyone should come together and celebrate and contribute whatever they can. Okay. So that's how now if we go to the next sloka, it is say all the rivers, seas, hills, mountains, serpents, cows, birds, animals, heavenly planets, the earthly planet, and all other living entities collected various presentations according to their ability to offer the king. Okay. So that's how it is not that what can be offered, what cannot be offered. So whoever, like says river, whatever river has, will offer water. Seas. So earlier there were like pearls and jewels also under the sea. So the sea will offer that. So hills, mountains, serpents, cows, birds. Okay. The serpent, I cannot imagine what serpent can offer. But maybe the serpents also have some jewels on their head. So that he can offer. So according to one's ability, he can offer that, okay, to the Lord. So when we have some ceremonies, some festivals, so everyone, according to their capability, they can offer. If one can sing nicely, he should sing the kirtans. If one can play some instruments, so the devotee should be able to play the instrument. If one can have some artistic form, some dancing, then he can dance and please. If someone can cook, in that way he can contribute. It's not that in a particular way only everyone has to contribute. So, and we see the in the next slokas also, even the great personalities, like they also offered according to their. according to whatever they have, according to that they offered. It's not that okay, because the Lord might like something else more. So I will obtain that. I will make all endeavors to obtain that, and then I will offer. That is not required. Whatever first we have, okay, some everyone has some skill, some talent, some position, so that we can offer naturally. And then if without much endeavor, if we get some other things, then that also we should be like offering to the Lord. But the first thing is whatever the positions naturally we have, that we should have a loving intention to offer it to the Lord. So that's how they offered. And the great King Prithu, exquisitely dressed with garments, ornaments, and was coronated and placed on the throne. The king and his wife Archie, who was also exquisitely ornamented, appeared exactly like a fire. Okay, so here they've given the example of fire, like it is so bright, so they were like the effulgent. So comparison to all other persons, so King Prithu and Mother Archie, so they were glowing like fire. Okay, and then he goes into explaining how, like Kuvera presented great Prithu with a golden throne. So because Kuvera is the treasurer of the demigods, so naturally he has the highest position. So he gifted the throne. But demigod Varuna presented with a umbrella that constantly like sprinkling some water particles, and it was showing like a natural. It will be shown like a moon. Okay. So because Varun Dev is the chief of the like water body, so he presented according to him. It is not that he'll go to Varun Dev, okay, now I have to gift something, so please loan me something. So he'll take that and then offer so that he'll be more happy. No, because Varun Dev, as per Varun Dev's situation, he offered that umbrella with sprinkling water. Okay, which was and is also ideal, so that if everyone brings some of the other thing and it becomes complete, or otherwise if everyone brings, let's say, okay, some particular thing is everyone just gets, let's say, jewelry for the Lord, then what about the other things? Other decorations also needs to be made. Like if the chhatra is given, the umbrella is given, then the throne will be complete. Like throne is there. So for all the great personalities, there should be chhatra. Okay. Like I think we also can have like the chhatras. We have the chhatras being Mother Malati has already gifted, but sometime it will be maybe kept on the altar. So in big temples we see the chhatra will be there. So only on the top of Lord and great personalities, the chhatra should be there, umbrella, not other persons. So if we go many of the places, and if the Lord comes out, like for any of the festivals, we see there should be chhatra. The umbrella must be there, not for others. And we see when we take out in many of the temples in India, when we take out Prabhupada, so we take out the umbrella also with the chhatra and chamar along both sides. So it is a giving of the respect to the great personalities. So to complete that, so Kuvera presented the golden throne and Varunji presented the chhatra with nice sprinkling of water. It is not that just to make him drenched, but small fine particles so that it will be soothing. So we can understand like in India, mainly in Jagannath Puri during the Rath Yatras, because that was summertime during that time. Like rain season is not started that much. So very humid. So they'll spray water all over. Okay. So it will be very soothing. So like that, maybe some fine particles of water would be sprinkled from through that umbrella. And then, so the demigod of air, Vayu, presented King Prithu with two chamaras of air. Yes, because Vayu Devta, so normally he wants to please with the fine, nice air. okay, which is soothing, and it must be like manda sumanda, manda sugandha. So, and there are three qualities of the air which is pleasing. Okay, it should not be like cyclone. Okay, manda means in a very slow, and sugandha it should be fragrant, and sital. Okay, so three good qualities of air should be there. Then it is considered as nice. Otherwise, if it is like steam hot, anyway, here we will like steam hot only because minus not going on. But naturally, like in Indian climate, if you see, no one would like the hot in the summer, like the loo comes in. No one likes. So if it is manda, sugandh, and sital, vayu. So sital means cold. Okay, cool. Okay, not very chilled, but very nice, cool breeze. So then it is considered good. So Vayu Devta presented a charmer through which this kind of hair, like hair charmer. So must be like this. We have like these charmers, uh, so that King Prithu can enjoy the nice air. And the king of religion, Dharma, presented him with a flower garland which would expand his fame. Okay. So by wearing like garland, so wearing garland actually it increases the fame. It gives a different sense of like impression. So like if we see like Srila Prabhupada when he used to travel, he had instructed because naturally the Western people they did not know how to like welcome, okay, do like in a Vedic uh, culture, how one spiritual master should always be respected and invited. Okay, so on that, so they didn't know. So Prabhupada has to tell them everything. So Prabhupada has to tell you should keep garland when we are going in flight also. Should keep garland. So when we are about to get down from the uh, flight, you should garland me. So that when great personalities they come, so people should be like we should put some attention to others. Otherwise, how anyone will know? Okay, so like when we open the altar, we blow the conch shell so that everyone will be attentive before opening the curtain. So like that, if a great personality is there, so there may be some other people around. They might not know. So how will they know? Through some appearance, physical appearance, okay, some presentation, and through some respect. If others giving respect, then they'll oh he must be a great personality. Okay, otherwise why someone would give a garland to someone? So it is a form of very good glory and respect. So Dharma presented him garland to expand his fame, and the king of heaven Indra presented him with a valuable helmet. So because Indra is naturally the king of the heavenly planet. So the main thing is the helmet or the mukut. King means there must be the mukut. The golden throne was already given by Kuvera, and Indra gave the mukut. Okay. And the superintendent of death, Yamaraj, presented him with a scepter with which to rule the world. So it is Dandam. Dandam means a stick kind of thing. Like when we search for scepter, actually, as searching, scepter means what? So it is like in Google, you will find the kind of sticks which the popes and all they, like the spiritual leaders who keep the stick. Okay. Like sometimes so if you see Parampuja Pataka Swami Maharaj also, so like gives a stick and he gives the mercy on that to everyone. So, but he Yamaraj gave him a stick. So because danda, because Yamaraj also gives danda. Danda means punishment also. So because he's the leader of giving punishment, so he gave a danda. So through that he can rule over. Okay, and Prithu Maharaj is such a nice personality, directly the Satyaves avatar of the Lord. That's why he will be perfectly ruling through the dandam by giving proper punishment to all other subjects who are like envious of the other people. And the last one, Lord Brahma presented King Prithu with a protective garment made of spiritual knowledge. Okay, because Brahma has all the Vedic knowledge. First, the Vedic knowledges are imparted to Brahma. So the topmost position of Brahmaji is the Vedic knowledge. So that's why through that he offered that Vedic knowledge, a chadar, product protective garment. He offered that with all those Vedic knowledge. And Bharati, Saraswati ji, the wife of Brahma, gave him a transcendental necklace. Okay. And Lord Vishnu presented with Sudarshan Chakra, and Lakshmi Devi gave him imperishable opulences. So Lord Vishnu's the best weapon is Sudarshan Chakra, which will be very beneficial for warfare and all. So he offered that, okay, gifted that to Prithu Maharaj. And Lakshmi Devi is naturally, he is the goddess of fortune. He gave the fortune so that it will be required for the citizens. And but here perfectly Srila Prabhupada writes that we should not think that the same exact Sudarshan Chakra came to Prithu Maharaj, because lots of expansions are there. So like that, there is a expansion of the Sudarshan disc was given to Prithu Maharaj so that it will accompany him in ruling and like to subside the enemies. So that Sudarshan Chakra will be there. So here, like we can meditate that in scriptures sometimes, although contradicting like elements will appear, but they are not exactly contradicting. On our preliminary stage of devotees, they might be looking like contradictory, because it is always said like Lord's names, okay, and Lord's energies, Lord's incarnations. We should not minimize their potencies, okay. But here it is said it is not the same as exactly. So both are said in the scriptures, okay. But it can be naturally understood. Like the Lord comes, when comes as Krishna, that is Purna Purushottam. So everyone is there. But when he comes in different avatars, incarnations, he doesn't come with full potency, full with all the opulences with full. And he also doesn't perform all the activities in all incarnations. In that way, it is said that it is not as exactly as much as, but is a partial. But it doesn't mean that the potency is less. So that potency what he is exhibiting, that is at the fullest. But for the time being, he just like when he came as Lord Narsimhadev, okay, the strength was displayed unanimously in a great way. But beauty, fame, so other things, all the leelas, so that was minimized. That was not done. So like that we can understand. So when we like again and again read and the internal realization when it develops, then this kind of like the argumentative like sense goes away. So actually then we realize that actually there is no contradiction. Okay, but there are different mellows, different kind of stages which everyone can release according to that particular time. Okay. So with this, we'll pause here. So I welcome if anyone has some realization reflections to share with everyone, or any questions or corrections if knowingly or unknowingly I have made, please correct here or in the Zoom. Any? speak. Or we'll just stop the class. जय जय श्री ग्रंथराज भागवतम की जय, अनंत कोटि वैष्णव भक्त वृंद की